बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। अली अल्लाह मदद फरमा, या मौला मुश्किल कुशा मदद फरमा। अल हई 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 الهي 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 the ever living, the Nur of Imam, which is ever living. This is one of the Isma Azam from the 99 names of Allah given in Quran, the one who is ever living and the one who can bring us to life. What a beautiful zikr, what a beautiful way of remembering him. Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, through this knowledge, through this understanding of Parameers, we are step by step coming to life. And we pray to Mawla Meherban that, please Mawla, make us alive spiritually, intellectually. It is only the living who can merge with you, Mawla. It is nothing to do with the physical life. Physically, we all are alive, but that living is temporary living. The true living, ever living life is at the level of the soul. Soul is ever living, soul never dies. But what happens when we don't understand that it is living and we do not nourish it, we do not take care of our soul the way we ought to, the way we need to seek knowledge, when we don't do that, it is as if we are living the life of a dead person. Physical body is alive, that's not enough. And that is why we do this zikr, seeking Imam's mercy. By doing this zikr and seeking knowledge, we are praying to Imam, please Mawla, bring us to life. So we can see your Noor, we can be one with you, Mawla. So beautiful zikr. Thank you for beginning this session with beautiful askar by Zulfikar Sahib and Kareem Sahib. Thank you so much. Once again, Ya Ali Mother to all friends. Today we will start with Farman number 9 in Kalame Imam Mubin. With Mawla's mercy and your prayers, we will discuss this Farman. This Farman is of April 3rd, 1893. And this was given in Mumbai. हक मौलाना धड़ी सलामत दातार आका सुल्तान मोहम्मद शाह हाजरी माह में फरमावी मोमिन सलवात पढ़ो अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मद व आल मुहम्मद બધા ગુનાહ કરતા આ ગુનાહ મોટો છે કદાચ જોવામાં નાનો આવે પણ બધા ગુનાહ કરતા આ ગુનાહ મોટો છે તેમ ખરાબ છે. So in this Farman, Imam is talking about a sin which is a very big sin, and Imam is saying that this sin is bigger than all other sins. And very interestingly, Mola says that when you look at this sin, you may think, you may perceive that it's not a big sin, but Imam is emphasizing that this sin is above all the sinning. બુત પરસ્તી કરવી અથવા કોઈ મોમિનને મારી નાખવું તે કરતા પણ આ ગુનાહ મોટો છે. Bud parasti meaning idol worshipping, and to Imam says that Bud parasti, idol worshipping or killing a moment. Even the guna which I am talking about, the sin which I am talking about, is above these two guna. So let us understand first Bud parasti. Idol worshipping, Rumi says that it is good to be khud parast instead of bud parast. Do not be idol worshipper, but be your own worshipper. Meaning own worshipper, meaning, it's me, ego, carnal soul worshipping. Then he says, it is good to be worshipping God than your own self. So we understand that there are darjat in that also. There are stages in that also. Here, Imam is talking about those who worship idols. Now, there is nobody sitting here in Jamaat Khana other than smiling. In front of Imam, Imam is sitting in Jamaat Khana and all are smiles. And Imam is saying that both to worship an idol or to kill a moment, the sin which I am talking about is bigger than that. So Imam is talking about all these three sins which are present in Jamaat. So we have to keep that in mind as well. However, Imam is taking us to a direction, specific direction, where Imam says that that sin which I am talking about is bigger than that. જેના સંબંધી હમણાં અમે તમને ફરમાન કરીએ છીએ, and about that I will give you a ફરમાન. આજે તમને ફરમાન કરીએ છીએ તે ત્રણ મકસદ છે. Now, very interestingly, Imam is creating suspense, it seems like. Before even telling us what is that guna, Imam says that I am going to tell you first three reasons of giving this farman. Three reasons of giving this farman. As if it's, it seems like that Imam has to justify why Imam is giving us farman. So let us understand, why Imam is talking like that. First, પહેલું એ કે અમે તમારા પીર મુર્શિદ છીએ, જેથી અમને વાજબ છે કે અમે તમોને કહીએ અને નસીહત કરીએ. તમે અમારા મુરીદ છો, જેથી તમારા ઉપર વાજબ છે કે જે ફરમાન અમે કરીએ તે ફરમાન ઉપર તમે ચાલો. The first reason Imam says that I am your Peer Murshid. Peer, we understand Peer. Murshid meaning our guide, our teacher. So Imam says the reason I'm giving you this farman because I'm your guide, I'm your Peer, I'm your Murshid. Jethi amne wajib che. It is my duty, it is my responsibility that I must warn you, give you advices, nasihat. And then Imam says that you are my followers. And it is now your duty, it is incumbent upon you that whatever farman I give you, you walk, you follow, become farman bardar, you follow those farmans. So that is the first reason that Imam is reminding the Jamaat. Remember, Imam was young. So Imam, the way Imam delivered farman, it was very beautiful and interesting that how Imam is taking the Jamaat's thoughts and teaching every level of Jamaat. Why every level? We will understand as going further, because Imam says there are three reasons that I'm teaching you, I'm giving you this farman to not be sinners in this specific sin, which is a very big sin. And Imam says the first reason is that I'm your Imam. Imam is supposed to guide us, Imam is guiding us, but after the guidance, Imam says it is our duty to be farman bardar. The second reason Imam says, બીજું મકસદ એ છે કે દોસ્તના હિસાબે કહીએ છીએ. Very beautiful, very interesting. Second reason Imam says that I am talking to you as your friend. Now, Imam is our master. We are his slave. How come he is our friend? But what we learn in the journey of knowledge, that there are people, there are those wali, those mu'mineen, who become such farman bardar mu'mineen, and they go to the level where Imam becomes their friend. And then if I may tell you further, that when one becomes friends with Imam, then a step comes when there is a stage of lover and beloved. So even in following the farmans of Imam, loving the Imam, there are stages. First, it starts with, I just have to obey the farman, the complete conviction, I have to follow Imam's farman. ત્રીજો મકસદ એ છે કે જે કોઈ માણસ ફરમાન સાંભળે છે અને તેના ઉપર અમલ નથી કરતો, યાની કાનથી સાંભળે છે પણ કબૂલ નથી કરતા, તેના વાસ્તે કહીએ છીએ. Again, very interesting reason. Imam says the third purpose is that when I give you farman and you listen to my farman, but You listen to it through your ears. You do not take it to your heart. You do not believe it. You do not obey it. Meaning, there is so much of doubt in the heart. For you, I am giving you the Farman. So there are Jamaati members who still have doubts in Imam's guidance. Why that happens? We all know Peer has told us. Peer has said that એક જ ફિકર મુનિવર અમને તમારી માણસ રૂપે સાહેબ જાણો. Meaning you see Imam as his physical body. You don't see the nur, you don't see the light. When Jamaat does do that, he said, this is the worry. This is the only worry I have, that you will see Imam as like you, as human. But he is nur. So this third reason Imam says that I am speaking to those who listen to my Farman, who are present in Jamaat Khana, listening to my Farman, but they are just listening. They are not accepting it. They are not believing it. For you, I am giving you this Farman. So Imam is giving us the three reasons. અમે તમને ફરમાવીએ છીએ કે ખરાબમાં ખરાબ ગુના એ શરાબ પીવું છે. તેથી તમે દૂર રહેજો. The Imam says, I'm giving you Farman, the worst of the worst is drinking alcohol. The worst of the worst, drinking alcohol, and you need to stay away from it. So Alhamdulillah, about alcohol we have discussed in another Farman as well. Today let us understand another ta'wil of drinking alcohol. So we will understand it. Those who think, oh, we don't drink alcohol, so this Farman doesn't apply to me. It is never true. When we think like that, that Imam is giving his Farman in just a vein, it is us who are being not knowledgeable, not understanding Imam's Farman. There is an application for each one of us here. So let us understand that. Then Imam says, Sharab piva varani jagya jahannam ma che, ane te jagya kharab ma kharab che. Imam says those who are, who drink alcohol, their place is in hell, in Jahannam. And this is worse sin. This is the worst sin. અગર કોઈ માણસ દુનિયામાં શરાબ પીએ અને તોબા ના કરે અને મરી જાય તો તેને કાફર સાથે બાંધવામાં આવશે. Now again, Imam is using his role as warner, giving us an imagination to visualize in our eyes, in our minds, and see what are the consequences of not obeying Imam's Farman. Imam says that those who, drink on the day of judgment, when they die, when they are taken to the day of judgment, they will be with unbelievers. They will be tied together with unbelievers. Unbelievers are those who do not believe in Imam. We are Ismailis, we believe in Imam. But Imam says those who drink alcohol, they will be tied together with unbelievers. Then Imam says, Sharab pidha pachi. There was one more thing I missed. I read it in Gujarati. Okay, I think I missed it over here. So, કહેવાનો મકસદ એ છે કે ખરાબમાં ખરાબ જે how did that happen? We jumped pages. અમે તમોને ફરમાવીએ છીએ કે ખરાબમાં ખરાબ ગુના શરાબ પીવો છે, તેનાથી તમે દૂર રહેજો. So worst of worst is drinking alcohol and stay away from it. કહેવાનો મકસદ એ છે કે ખરાબમાં ખરાબ જે અંગૂરમાંથી યા ગુલાબમાંથી યા કોઈ પણ ચીજમાંથી બનાયેલી હોય કે જેનાથી નશો ચડે તે ચીજ ના પીવી. So Imam is now going into detail, and Imam is saying that my objective is that this is worst of worst sin, and if this sharab, this alcohol is made of grapes or rose flower, whatever thing is used to make this alcohol, if it is giving you nasha. It's making you unconscious, not being able to stay cognitive. Then it is not to be drunk. શરાબ પીવાથી ઇન્સાનને મસ્તી પેદા થાય છે, તેથી તે ખરાબ છે. તેવી ચીજ પણ ના ખાવી કે જેનાથી મસ્તી પેદા થાય. By drinking alcohol, a person can lose his consciousness, his ability to make decision, because they get intoxicated. And Imam says that even if something you eat and it causes you to become intoxicated, do not be eating that or drinking that. શરાબ પીવા વાળાની જગ્યા જહન્નમમાં છે અને તે જગ્યા ખરાબમાં ખરાબ છે. So they will be in the hell and they will be tied together with unbelievers. So the category of unbelievers is meaning that those who do not believe in Imam. The Jamaat believes in Imam. So why will they be tied with those unbelievers? Because if they have not obeyed this specific farman of Imam, because in this context, Imam is saying that if you have drank alcohol or anything which makes you, intoxicated, then you will be tied together with unbelievers, meaning Imam will not be with us. Very commonly in sessions we hear that those who are smileys, those who are with Imam, we are always in the paradise of Imam. But this farman is pretty strong farman, pretty harsh farman. Imam is saying, if you have drank alcohol, you will not be with my Jamaat. You will not be with me. You will be with unbelievers. So this is pretty, difficult farman. Then Imam is saying, sharab pida pachi na chahiye je teva kaam kare. Insan shaitan na murid bane che. Je koi sharab piye che, tena akhirat ma ઝહેરનો પ્યાલો પીવડાવવામાં આવશે અને તે ઝહેરની વાસ બહુ ખરાબ હશે. Now Imam is taking us further, that Imam is saying that those who drink alcohol, they do things which they would never do. They would not like to do, meaning they have no ability to control themselves. They will do whatever, they are doing in that intoxication, and they are not able to control themselves. Meaning, Imam is saying that they will become the slaves or the army of shaitan. They will be friends with shaitan and they will be performing the shaitani acts. And those who drink, Imam says, in the end time, in Akhirat, they will be given, drinks, glasses of poison, the way people drink in glass, right? So Imam is saying that they'll be given, this drink of poison, and the smell of that poison will be so bad that it would, they would hate it, they would not like it. So let's finish this farman. We need to talk about understanding of this. કોઈ શરાબ પીતો હોય અને એ ફરમાન સાંભળે, તોબા નહીં કરે, તો पैगंबर खुदा અને અમે પણ તેનાથી हैरान અને બેઝાર છીએ. Those who drink alcohol and they listen to this farman and they do not do tawbah, they do not let go of this bad habit, Prophet, Khuda and Imam will be staying away from them. They will have no interest. They will be surprised that farman was given. Despite of that, you continue that habit. And then Imam says that I'll be bezar, meaning I'll be not interested, stay away from it, because you have taken yourself with your own decision to be with unbelievers. પીર સદરદીન તમોને જ્ઞાનમાં ઘણો ફરમાવ્યું છે કે શરાબ ના પીવું. There are ginans, Imam says, by Pir Sadruddin, in which Pir has told us not to drink alcohol. Anant Akhara પાઠમાં પણ છે કે શરાબથી શરાબ તે શૈતાની શરાબ છે, તેનાથી દૂર રહેવું. જ્ઞાનમાં, હદીસમાં, કુરાનમાં છે. તેથી 100 ગુના અમે તમોને ફરમાન દ્વારા સમજાવીએ છીએ કે શરાબથી પોતાને બચાવતા રહેજો અને તેવી ચીજથી દૂર રહેજો. Very interestingly, Imam is teaching us, it is so beautiful the way Imam is Rahman and Rahim. It is amazing when we study his farmans, that Imam is mentioning ginans, that Pir Sadaruddin has mentioned in Ginan, not to drink alcohol. If you have read Ananta Kharo, you would read that sharab is not good. Then Imam says that in Ginan, in Hadith, in Quran, all the resources which as Ismailis we need to study, Imam is mentioning here. He did not just say Ginan. He just did not say Ananta Kharo. But we somehow do not pay attention to, we are selective readers, right? We do not take the whole Farman. We skip Hadith, we skip Quran. Imam is telling us all these are the sources for us to learn and seek advice from. So Imam is saying that if you were to study Ginan, Ananta Kharo, Hadith, Quran, hundreds of times, I have given you Farmans as well. And if you were to study Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah's Farman, just do the research and remove Farmans related to alcohol and drugs. There are very many Farmans by Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah. So Imam says that I am also giving you Farman that stay away from drinking. Protect yourself from drinking. All those things, which makes you unable to control yourself and your decision making, stay away from those things. Ek vachik. So Imam is now changing here. So let us now review this much. Hopefully we'll be able to finish it today. So I would like to discuss here. Okay, when Imam says that when we drink alcohol, we become intoxicated, and then Imam says that we do things which are beyond our control. Now, the higher understanding, if we are not the ones who drink alcohol, then alcohol, they look at the characteristics of alcohol. It makes us perform deeds which we are not willing to do. It makes us, intoxicated, forget about our reality, forget about Imam, and do whatever, we are in that situation and we are doing. Meaning we have no control over our being. Think of anger. When someone is angry, what happens? Are they able to control themselves? Do they do what they do not want to do? Do they regret afterwards when they were angry? So what I'm referring to? I'm actually referring to following of carnal soul, being sick with spiritual diseases. All that will make us become unconscious, not able to make decisions in the right direction, because we are following the commands of the carnal soul. When we become the slaves of shaitan by being in the traps of shaitan, for example, getting angry and not controlling the anger, will make us do things which we will regret all our lives. So those who think that this Farman does not apply to us, so they skip and they move on, please don't do that, because there are so many tabilat. When Imam says that those who drink alcohol on the day of judgment, they will be with kafirin, will be with unbelievers. Meaning, why unbelievers? Because those who followed the carnal soul, they never learned that carnal soul is a trap and we do not need to stay like animals, because carnal soul is something which makes us do things based on our instincts. And instincts followers are animals, not humans. Humans are with rational soul. So carnal soul never transforms, never grows up to become a rational soul. We may be good in front of others, but when we are with our close ones and family members, how do we perform? How do we behave? All that really matters. So if we are different in our following of ethics in front of others and in front of our family members, whenever we become slaves to spiritual diseases, whenever we do not have taqwa, we do not have ethics, actually, we are drinking alcohol, or we are being slave of the carnal soul, or we are followers of shaitan and not Imam. So if we do not wake up during our lifetime and continue to drink this alcohol, love of this physical world, being slave of the physical world and wanting physical things, physical desires, only physical things, then we are not those who are true believers. We are blind and we come into category of unbelievers. So This sin is very big sin. Remember, first application is physically drinking alcohol. The higher tawil, the understanding, because all of us don't drink alcohol. So we will think, oh, this farman doesn't apply. So this tawilat is for those who don't drink alcohol and they think that Imam has given this farman in just vain. Never ever think that. Every farman, every word, every sentence will apply to us too. There has to be hidayat for us, everyone. Everyone. So, yes, the first hidayat is for those who drink alcohol, those who drink, who take drugs, or those who, nowadays we see that medically things are being allowed more and more because the way we are seeing the direction that the drugs have become so common in population that they are making drugs legal to some extent, so people don't have to go drop to that level of seeking drugs and becoming homeless. And we have now this as a big problem in every country. If you are into medical field or keep up with these things, young kids are dying because of the drug usage. Kids who are in the school, they are losing their life because of these things. So first application is at that level. But at level of those who do not use drugs, those who do not drink alcohol, for us, we need to understand that if we are doing things without being able to control ourselves, following the instincts, and that happens when we are sick with the spiritual diseases, this farman applies to us as well. And then, koi shirab pito hoy ane a farman sambre toba nahi kare. So if we are, slave to carnal soul and we understand farman, meaning we seek knowledge and we realize, and then we are not saying, seeking forgiveness, we are not doing toba, then the Prophet and Khuda and Imam is bezar from them. They're not interested. Do we ever want our Imam to be not taking care of us, not loving us, not be interested in us? But Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah spoke very openly, very frankly. And we need to realize that, Hidayat is given to us in Jinan, in Quran, Hadith, Farmans, for us to follow. But even having so many sources for us to learn from, and they're teaching us, if we don't follow the Farman, Imam says at the end time, you will be with unbelievers, as if we never were Ismailis or we were never following the Farmans of Imam. Imam is so, upset, and Imam is very clearly saying the consequences. Now think of it, that when, we understand those who do drugs and alcohol, and that's very clear, there are very many faramins, and I think we do not need to go into that direction, because those who drink, and they are here, those who do drugs, this is very clear. This is very clear. I do not need to go in any more detail. However, when we are not drinking, because my thought is that majority are not drinkers, so how we need to understand this farman? When we are following the carnal soul, when we are being slaves of shaitan, we become army of shaitan. When we die, when we leave this physical world, if we have not obeyed the farman, or we obeyed and then disobeyed, we obeyed and disobeyed, meaning we've walked further one step and two steps backward. Again, this example is also from farman, that we as mu'minins, what we do, we become conscious when we listen something, harsh, it touches our heart, we become obedient, we become followers for one step. And then something happens, attack of a carnal soul comes, and we move backward 2 steps. So Imam says that when would you reach your destination if you walk continuously like that? You will never reach your destination. So in other words, if we fit into that category, then we will not reach the destination. Imam will become bezar. Imam's mercy is with us, Imam's faramin is with us. But Imam will not be interested, because we are not obedient to Imam's faramin. We are not doing true, seeking of tawbah. We are not seeking forgiveness in its true sense. We may do lip service, tobo tobo taksidar, but really not become good mominies, improving ourselves and not sinning. So I hope that we are understanding and keeping it together. When we are thinking like that, this will make more sense. So again, remember, for us, we have been given these sources to study, to get hidayat from: Ginan, Anantakhado, Hadith, Quran. All these are sources of learning for us. Then Imam says, હા, એક વાત છે કે માણસ બીમાર હોય અને ડોક્ટર દવા તરીકે આપે તો પીવામાં ગુના નથી. તે પણ કેવી રીતે? જેને બીમારીની બહુ પીડા હોય અને હકીમ અથવા ડોક્ટર ઘણો હોશિયાર હોય અને સારામાં સારો હોય અને તે એમ કહે કે ફક્ત આ પાણી, શરાબ પીવાથી જ બીમારી મટશે, ત્યારે પીવું, તો તેમાં ગુના નથી અને હરામ નથી. થોડી બીમારી હોય અને પીવું વાજિબ નથી. So Imam is now giving us when can you drink. And if you know, every cough syrup we drink, every cough syrup has, some alcohol in it. And alcohol is used in medications as well. So Imam is saying that if you are sick and if you are prescribed those medications which has drug in it, because you are in such a pain, meaning, nowadays, some drugs are, being given to those who are cancer patients and they are in such a severe pain, they are given those medications to give them relief because they are ill, physically ill. So Imam says that if your doctor is hushiyar, meaning research-based, that it will not make you, addicted to those drugs. They are, smart doctors. And when they recommend you to take this as medication because you are ill, you have some disease, and the prescription has been given to you, then only you can drink it as it is instructed, and it will not be haram. If you are a little bit sick and you think you want to take those, medications to get relief, then that's not right. That will not be acceptable. So do we hear the stories of people becoming addicted to stronger medications? We do hear those things as well. So even when we take those medications which are prescribed, we have to be very, very careful, especially when we, have accidents, traumas, and those medications when we are taking, it is very commonly seen people become addicted to it. So as Ismaili Momines, seekers of true knowledge, we have to be very, very careful when to take these medications and when to say no. Be able to make that decision that we are not that sick that we will need that kind of dosage or those kind of drugs. Imam is going in such detail in teaching us. And tell me, today, does it not apply? It very much applies, because there are diseases, there are accidents that would cause us to be on these medications. So Imam is clearly saying that be very mindful when you're even prescribed those medications. And if you're a little bit sick, do not be taking those medications. કુરાને શરીફમાં પણ એવું છે કે પેગમ્બર અને વખતના ઇમામે જે ફરમાન કરે છે તે મુજબ વર્તવું જોઈએ. Imam is teaching us that even when you study Quran, you will see the hidayat of Pagambar, because Quran is, coming from Pagambar. And you will also see Farman Mubarak, that you should not be doing that. You should not be taking those drugs. You should not be taking it like that. Quran ma ઉપર મુજબ વિગતવાર નથી, પણ ઇશારામાં સમજાવેલ છે, પણ અમે તમોને વિગતવાર સમજાવીએ છીએ. Imam says, if you were to now look for word alcohol in Quran and see if that it is not allowed, you may not exactly find it like that. But I am very clearly giving you farman that do not be drinking alcohol. So Imam is teaching us so clearly that if you have doubt that, oh, Quran doesn't say that. Someone may say, oh, Quran doesn't say that, do not drink alcohol. Because Quran talks about alcohol in paradise. Very interestingly, Quran talks about alcohol in paradise. And then it describes the characteristics of that alcohol. It says that in the world, if you were to drink alcohol, it will make you, mindless, unconscious, uncontrollable. Your decision making will be very, very poor. You'll make poor choices. But the alcohol which we drink in paradise, it will never do that to you. Again, this is the example given in Quran about alcohol. But there is tawilat in the alcohol when it is being served in paradise, which is totally different. But I just wanted to give you why Imam is saying that if you were to study, just search for alcohol, you will find it not directly being told to you that not be drinking, but it has been described that it is nothing to do with the alcohol of the world which makes you unconscious. That is enough for us to understand. Now, when we talk of this unconscious, there is another tabi which we have to understand. And that is in relationship to Imam's Faramins about using our intellect. Our deen is based on intellect. What does alcohol do to our intellect? There is no intellect at all. There is literally no intellect at all. It goes away completely. So those who have no intellect, being human, drop down below the level of animals, even below than that. That's what drugs and alcohol do to human beings. It does do to human beings. So we are not supposed to, we should not be using those things. Why? Because Imam wants us to use our intellect to follow our tariqah. If we are not using our intellect by seeking knowledge to overpower our carnal soul, we are drunk. We are drunk. Drunk by what? By this worldly drama going on. And we are involved in this world. And Imam says in other farmans that, my children and their children and my house and my wife and this and that. We are constantly busy, and that is drinking actually, meaning it is keeping us away from using our intellect to be able to see beyond this world. We are not able to remove this veil from our eyes. We are constantly busy with me and my things. So again, remember, if we are studying Imam's Faramin and we see intellect, the opposite of that is we are not using intellect by either physically drinking alcohol or drugs or by becoming slaves of the carnal soul, meaning we are not using our intellect. So Imam is very clearly teaching us all this by saying that even the Prophet, even the Lord, even the Imam, will not be happy with us. And then Imam says here, kharab ma kharab guna te sharab pivano lage છે અને તે ખરાબ અને મોટો ગુના છે માટે શરાબ પીવું નહીં જોઈએ. Worst of worst, Imam is saying, it is to drink alcohol. Now we understand drinking alcohol, physical drinking, being the slaves to carnal soul, or killing our own intellect or not using our intellect is also like becoming drug addicts or being alcoholics. આ ફરમાન સાંભળી જે તોબા નહીં કરે તો અમે ફરમાવીએ છીએ કે ખુદા તેની દુઆ, ઇબાદત અને બંદગી પણ કબૂલ નહીં કરે. અલ્લાહ મદદ ફરમા. Those who are listening to this farman and they do not do tawbah, then Imam says, I am telling you, I am saying this farman that the God will not accept their dua, their ibadat, their bandagi. Nothing will be accepted. How clear Imam can be. If we do not use our intellect, if we do not seek this knowledge and be able to understand all what we are understanding by using our intellect and following the farman, whatever we do, we say our dua, we do sit in ibadat and bandagi, it will not be accepted. It will not be accepted. अल्लाह मदद फरमा. बाद मौलाना हाजी इमामे फरमाવ્યું, અમે આજે ફરમાનો કર્યા છે તે તમે સાંભળ્યા, પણ સાંભળ્યા પછી એવું ના બને કે જેમ કોઈ કહે કે હવે શરાબ આપણે પછી મૂકી દેશું, અગર બુઢા થાશું ત્યારે છોડશું. પણ આ ફરમાન સાંભળી તે જ ટાઈમે તોબા કરો કે અમે કદી પણ શરાબ નહીં પીશું. ખાના So Imam is saying that today when I'm giving you this farman, those who are listening to this farman, and what will they say? I will do it tomorrow. Do we remember Hazimam's farman just like that? Those who say they will do it tomorrow, tomorrow never comes. And Imam is giving this farman, Hazimam, in context of following our deen or taking care of our soul. Imam says there are those who will say, oh, we'll do this tomorrow. Tomorrow is never coming. Or some people say, oh, I am too old. If for Ruhaniyat, old age does not matter. You are never too old to follow the Faramins. You are never too old to do Ibadat Bandagi, to elevate your ranks in spirituality. Exactly same Farman, different words. Imam is saying that those who are saying that we will follow this Farman when we are old. And if you were to talk to young people, you would hear this comment from young people. Oh, you are old, so you always go to Jamaat Khana. Oh, you are old, so you are doing this much zikr. We are young. Let us enjoy our life. Meaning, this Farman Imam is saying it exactly like that. When we don't introduce this knowledge to our young children at a young age and teach them that we have to be really obedient to Imam's Farman with conviction, not selective listening or selective following of the Farman. From the very young age, we got to teach our children. This is Imam's Farman, so we have to obey the Farman. We are slaves. We are obedient to Imam. We do teach our children to do sajda. But why are we doing sajda? What does it mean? Farman bardari. Physically, we teach dua. We get very happy the children are reciting dua. Those children become adult and they continue to do what was taught. But in reality, what was needed is the teaching of the essence. So Imam is saying that those who think they will leave this living of sinning, the life of sinners, tomorrow or when they're old, then they'll take care of their soul. Let me live life right now. Tomorrow is never going to come, or when you will become old, meaning you'll do it tomorrow. That is not the right approach or right way of becoming Farman Bardar of Imam. So Imam is saying that if you listen to this Farman and you do not seek forgiveness of Imam, you do not do tobu, meaningful tobu, not just lip service. Imam is saying that for them, Khuda, Pagambar or Imam will not be there in the day of judgment, freeing our soul, taking us to salvation, because Imam is already bezar. Imam is already not interested. Imam has also said that those who are alcoholics, followers of the carnal soul, or they are living the life being the murid of shaitan, being in the army of shaitan, meaning that they are not using their intellect, they will be tied with unbelievers. Now we need to really discuss that, because we are not unbelievers. We are smileys, we are believers. But imagine being smileys when we perform our deeds. It is all about good deeds as well, right? True deeds. When our deeds are not purified, the category, the level we will be, when we die, will be the lowest of lowest. And interestingly, in Surah Hadith, in 57:12 and 13, it says that on the day of judgment, there'll be Momin men and women who will be with the light and they'll be happy. And then on the other side, there's a transparent door. And on the other side will be their friends, families, fellow members of Jamaat. And they'll be say, oh, please share with us your light so we can also come to that side. Because you are happy, we are burning here, we are unhappy, we are feeling away from Imam. But we see that you are with Imam and you are joyous and you are happy, and we are not. Please share your light. And they will be told, no, return back where you had left the light. Meaning, when you did not do Farman Bardari, what will happen? They will be at that level where they're away from the Imam. It may be, we can take this example and understand that there is a wall in between, there's a door in between, meaning that they are at the lowest level. They knew the Jamaat, they were family, they were friends. What did they say? Oh, I'll do it tomorrow, or I'll do it when I'm old. Or, going one step further and two steps backward. And remember what we are talking about. We are talking about first using our intellect to follow the faramins of Imam, to understand the true knowledge, to have true deeds, to become pure. So we are able to transform our carnal soul and get to the conscientious soul. And then continue the travel to get to the satisfied soul so we can be with Imam. Otherwise, we are those who move one step further and two steps backward. And we never reach the destination. So Quran shows us, gives us that scenario, that scene, that those who are Mu'minin, they'll be on one side. And these who are from family and friends and Jamaat, they'll be able to see them, but they are not with them. Meaning, what are we saying? Meaning that in paradise, when we all die, we may be in paradise. Think of this paradise as a huge building, 100 floors. What if Imam is on the 100th floor and Mu'mineen are with Imam? But these people who we are talking about, alcoholics not using intellect, they are on the first floor. But it is visible, flooring. They are able to see all those floors above them. It is all because inner eyes are opened up, so they can see everything. And they'll say, please, you remember us? We are your friends, your family, your Jamaat. Take us with you in that side. And what will be told to them? No, you cannot be coming to that side. Why? Because we did not use our intellect. We did not follow the faramins. And we remain slaves of the carnal soul. Lobh, moh, kam, krodh, ahankar, all those sinning, which our peers have taught us so beautifully in Ginans. And we are studying all those, we have studied these spiritual diseases in the study of Book of Healing. And nowadays, when we are studying ascent of soul, the elevation of our soul, Meraj-e-Ruh, we are talking about light and its beauty. And it is so beautiful to understand all those concepts. But how are we able to understand those concepts? Why are we having fun or we are enjoying those sessions? Why? Because we are using our intellect. So when we are using our intellect, we become farman-bardar. What happens? We become mindful. We become conscientious. We stop ourselves from thinking bad for others. We stop ourselves when we get angry. We remain involved in remembrance by doing different zikr. So we do not sin. Our thoughts are not going here and there. So all these, small acts, learning one zikr a day, and then making it part of our day, doing it regularly, using our intellect to learn these new beautiful zikr, understanding its meaning, then saying it with Giriya Uzari. All that is so powerful to help us wake up. Because what happens, Shaitan wants us to remain sleeping. So we continue to be mindlessly living our life, making decisions mindlessly, making soul the last priority, making our journey of Ruhaniyat last priority. Everything matters. My children, my grandchildren, my wife, my husband, my job, my this and my that. Where is me? Where is my soul? Where am I? Do I have any time allocated for me? Do I have any me time? No, Jamaat Khana, someone will say, oh, I did say my 3 times dua, I did say my ibadat. I did sit for my ibadat. Is that all? No, actually there's much more than that. Because one can say dua mindlessly. One can sit in ibadat mindlessly and do the zikr from the tongue. Jib Japanda Piyuna Mile. Pir has told us. And this beautiful Ginan, Ananta Kharo, if you are wondering, we did, our team did do the research, and they shared this Ginan, Asha ji, Iman Salamat Sakhu Srevo, Haram Tamku Warji, Waroji, Haram Tamku Waroji, Shaitan Sharab thi Duraj Rehjo, To Pahuncho Dev Dwar, Hari Anand. O Lord, with the faith well secured, worship the Lord and abandon illicit tobacco and drugs and stay away completely from the evil intoxicants. Then you will reach the abode of the Lord. Hari, you are eternal. Verse 390. So thank you to those friends who helped in doing research and being able to conduct these sessions. Lots of prayers for you and your elevation, for your help and your ilmi khidmat. Alhamdulillah. So I think we did discuss this Farman in great detail. Importance is that we remember now the importance of using our intellect. Wherever we see anything, alcohol, drugs, or our worldly life, trapping our mind, trapping our consciousness to become the slaves of the world or shaitan or carnal soul, whatever name you would like to give, different types of traps. We are becoming those drinking, drug addicts individual who is compromising the intellect. So why am I saying it like that? Because what happens most of the time when we read these farmans, what we have a thought, oh, I am good. I'm really good. I don't do this sin. I am better than others. And we judge those who do the sinning. How about looking at ourselves? Am I a sinner? So if you understand this farman with Tawil, we all are sinners. And we have to seek forgiveness of Imam to remain mindful every moment, every step in our life. And how can we get there? Because it is not easy to be remaining mindful all the time. It is only possible when we are in remembrance. When we are remembering Imam through different zikr, through different ilmi points, when we are understanding, continuously keeping our mind busy with knowledge, reading Quran, Hadith, Ginan, Farmans, and applying it on ourselves, and then saying, Tobo, Tobo, Taksirdar, Bando Sirta Pa Gunegar, Yasha, Tu Guna Bakshana Bakshana. Having this knowledge of sins, what are the sins? And not thinking of ourselves as superior and better than others, but finding out what are the flaws. We have to find out where we are lacking. Remember that Farman, where we had studied the story of Musa and Khizr? What Khizr does? He pokes a hole in that boat. So Musa says, why did you poke the hole? Now this boat will drown. But this poking of the hole is needed for us to realize that we think of ourselves superior or better or good human beings, good smileys. But it is only through the knowledge we will be able to see the ugliness which we have. And I'm very frank, ugliness, because we know who we are, how sinful we are. We may look good, we may appear good, we may speak good, but truly being critical to our own selves, our own thoughts. Are we being slaves of this world? Are we serving shaitan or Imam? These are very strict, harsh questions which we need to ask ourselves if we are a true seeker. That will make us ashamed. That should make us shed tears because we are able to see who we are. When we give ourselves that me time and look into that mirror, who are we? Am I that drop of the soul which has a divine spark of Imam? Or I am the sinner? Look at that sinner, because the divine spark cannot become a fire if it is loaded. The top levels are with all those which is due to the following of the shaitan, carnal soul, not using our intellect. Then we'll see our true image. And at that time, when we say Tobo, Tobo, Taksir, Dar, Bandhu, Sirta Pagunegar, Yasha, Tu Guna Bakshna Bakshna. That will be meaningful Toba. That will be with tears of being ashamed on ourselves, seeking Imam's mercy, going into sajda and telling Imam that Mola, you are forgiver, you are Ghafoor. Please, Mola, forgive my sins. Give me this courage, tawfiq, ta'id, himmat, yari. Give me this courage, this strength. Be my friend, so I do not perform these sins again. Ameen. Shukran lillah, alhamdulillah. Thank you.
Subhanallah, subhanallah. Thank you, Niamat Sahibah, for a wonderful session again. I'm sure we would not have really understood the deeper meaning of this Farman. And we would have just stayed at the level of the alcohol as such. So really, you have really helped us understand the deeper meaning of this and the fact that it's all related to the intellect and how we have to protect the intellect and stop us being slaves of the carnal soul. Shukran, alhamdulillah. Friends, anybody got any questions or comments? Please come forward. While we're waiting, I wanted to pick up on at the beginning of the Farman, where Maulana Sultan Muhammad Shah tells us the three reasons as to why he is making the Farman. Normally, Hazar Imam of Maulana Sultan Muhammad Shah would not give a justification as to why he is doing something. So is it because that drinking at that particular point in time was so ingrained in the community that it was possible that people would just not listen to the Farman? Or was there any other reason?
So, no, because it's your thought, your question. So we should, look into that. I'm a registered nurse, so I'm in health profession, right? So statistically, when you look at it, Jamaat is much more in drinking and drugs in today's time than ever before, unfortunately. So I would not say that was the only reason. This is very prevalent in Jamaat right now, especially our youngsters. We do hear things of, like it's a fashion thing of hookah bar. I wonder if we know that our youngsters are now exposed to this hookah bar, which is a place to hang out. And they use drugs as a part of fashion. So today's times are much, much worse, actually, due to the exposure of all these things. Fentanyl crisis, it's very common happening today. Young adults, young kids, teens are dying because of these drugs. So these things are very prevalent in Jamaat and in humanity in today's time. So your question that Imam gave these three reasons, it is to do with Imam Shanasi. It is to do with Imam Shanasi having the recognition of Imam. And why Imam talked like that? Because the limitation was because Imam was so young. Imam was so young physically. And Jamaat constantly look at his physical being so young. So Imam is giving us three reasons. I did say justification, but Imam never has to justify. Imam was targeting all those three kinds of people who were present there and listening to this Farman. And the first Imam says, because I am your guide, I am your teacher, and it is your duty to be Farman Bardar. We are slave to Imam. When we are smileys, we are in bayya of Imam, we are slaves to Imam. We are not supposed to use our own partial intellect to, ask Imam, why this Farman? We are supposed to say, Ji Khudavin. That is our duty. Yes, understanding in ilmi classes is different because we are trying to learn. But whenever Imam gives us Farman, we do not say why, what, Ji Khudavin. Just accept the Farman. That is our duty. So Imam tells us that why he's giving us Farman, because he's our Imam. He worries about our soul. So he's guiding us, he's warning us, he's teaching us. But then he reminds us also that we, being believers, followers, being in Bayat, we have to follow the Farman. And beautifully, second is Imam says, as your friend. I loved it when I read that. Why? Because in Jamaat, there are those elevated souls who are close to Imam. Imam is talking to them as well. As your friend, I'm telling you. So, Imam's friend, those who are close, are they drinking alcohol? No, but it is possible that there are times when they are not mindful. They are making mistakes. So, as Imam says, that you're close to me, I'm your friend, but as a friend, I'm reminding you, I'm telling you, do not become mindless. Be very mindful every stage, every step of your life. And then third, Imam says that those who have doubt in their heart. Now, this is the worst category. Those who listen to Farman, meaning they're in Jamaat, they're listening, they're showing as if they're obedient, but they have doubts in the heart. They listen and it comes out from there. And this, especially when Imam says that Kaneti sambre par kabul nathi karta. So there are people who would listen and get it out from there, but meaning they didn't even listen, they were mindless. But then there are those present in Jamaat who listen, who process, who analyze, who understand, but do not accept it. Kabul nathi karta. Imam says it. Have we ever heard of that? People like that? There are people like that. There are people like that who do not accept Imam's Farman. Or Imam is saying same thing all the time. Tena vaste kahini chahiye. Meaning there are these categories, these darja, these ranks present in Jamaat. Jamaat is all not one and the same. There are ranks in Jamaat. And that is what Imam is teaching us. I have said earlier that whenever we think of ranks, Imam is actually teaching us about Hudud-e-Deen. Here also Imam is teaching us about Hudud-e-Deen. The last category is not even in any category because they are living the life of the doubters. They are in Jamaat, they listen to Farman, they analyze, but they never accept because their heart is filled with darkness. They are not even students, they do not even want to learn. But the second level is of friends, higher stages. And the first one is that mustajib, that you need to be Farman Bardar, you need to understand those who are, listening to Imam Farmans. So yes, you are very right that we have to follow Farman with conviction, not convenience. Ji.
Yasmin Samji put a statement of religion is conviction, not convenience. This is a Farman made by Hazar Imam in London, I think in 1983 or 84. So,
thank you.
yeah, exactly. So Hazar Imam is still trying to make us understand that it is conviction and not convenience. And we have the tendency to listen to a Farman and only follow the bits that are convenient to us rather than the whole Farman. Friends, anybody got any other questions or comments?
Yali Madad Farman.
Malali Madad.
ये जो लाइन है ना, बुत परस्ती करवी अथवा कोई मोमन ने मारी नाखो ते करता पण आ गुनो मोटो छे, तो इसकी भी तावील समझाओ.
Thank you, Gulzar. What would we do without you? Budh Parasti. So I did start to talk about it with the Rumi's Kalam. So idol worshipper. So one of the understanding, when we say idol worshipper, we think of those who, follow this Budh. We see in different religions and we think of them as, they do Budh Puja. And Imam in Farman is telling us that Budh Parasti karvi athwa koi momin ne mari nakhu te karta par guno moto che. So Budh Parasti can be understood at a very detailed, it's a detailed concept because it is it can also go into the category of shirk, when we are believing in two gods. But keeping it very simple and understanding it very humbly, in order to learn, I'm going to use this terminology, that are we following two gods? And I would say yes. How? We believe in Imam, he is our Ali Allah, we follow his Farman, but whenever we forget Imam and we become the followers of Shaitan or carnal soul, when we start sinning, we have left Imam and we start believing in somebody else. Let it be our nafs, let it be Shaitan. So that is actually Buddh Parasti. When a moment becomes a Buddh Parast, follows the commands of the carnal soul, then what that moment is doing, moment ne mari naku. That moment kills his divine spark. That moment kills his nur and becomes the slave of the carnal soul. Meaning, that soul, that spark was never taken care of, never nurtured. So that moment killed his own soul and became like an animal. So બુદ્ધ પરસ્તી કરવી અથવા કોઈ મોમેન્ટને મારી નાખવું તે કરતા પણ આ ગુના મોટા છે. Imam is actually teaching us the importance of intellect. Imam is teaching us importance of true knowledge. That only through true knowledge we would realize that are we killing our own soul? It is not about killing others. We are not killers. But remember, Quran says that our own soul will be standing against us and will complain about us. In the last class, I think Book of Healing, we read a Quranic reference in which it said, I think Ascent of Soul, it said that our organs will complain against us, that you did sin with using me. Meaning that Mu'min Salik, when they become the slave of the carnal soul, they are killing not others, but their own divine spark, that moment, that potential, which could have become one with the Imam, because the divine spark is there, but they killed it. So when we do not follow intellect, we live mindlessly, drinking this alcohol of world, physical alcohol, or being the slaves of the carnal soul, being in the traps of Shaitan, not seeking true knowledge, not changing ourselves, not molding ourselves, not following the Farman with conviction, we are killing that moment and we are doing Buddh Parasti. So Imam is talking about one and the same thing in different terminologies. So we would pay attention and seek, understand it. That you think of Buddh Parasti is a big sin. You think of somebody, killing somebody is a big sin. This sin of not using your intellect, it is like as if you are doing the Buddh Parasti or you are killing a moment. In Quran, there is a beautiful Quranic verse. It says, if you kill one person, one soul, it is as if you kill the whole universe. Just one killing of one soul. And even that killing is not. We are not murderers. But Quran calls us murderers. Whose murder are we committing? Which moment are we killing? It is this divine spark which had full potential to become full nur with Imam. So I hope this helps us understand. Ji.
Yes, thank you, Mama. Shukran, Ali Allah. I
Thank you.
wonder, mottama motto gunachi, because when we do this Buddh Parasti and like you explained so well, but when we don't use intellect or physically we drink alcohol, we not only harm ourselves, we harm our family, we harm our friends, we harm our society. So that impacts so many things. That's right. Ali Baba said that it is muttama muttu gunache.
So very beautiful, Guzar. So the way she said that when somebody drinks alcohol, they not only harm themselves, but their friends, their families, their jamaat. Very true. So understand, when we do not seek, higher knowledge, we don't become light as well. So look at both the sides, right? We don't become light. If you become light in your own family, that light will lit the lights in your family members, in your friends, in your extended families, in your jamaat. So imagine opposite of that becoming drunk. So apply it both the sides and you'll be able to see the impact and effects of it. So thank you for bringing that beautiful point.
Niamat Sahibah,
Ji.
this is something a little different, but this one I've never understood. Where Sultan Muhammad Shah said, કે સિમર તો બહુ સારો હતો, સિમર તો બહુ સારો હતો, કે ઈ તો ઇમામ હુસેનને જ માર્યો. પણ તમો જો બંદગી નથી કરતા, તો તમો 49 ઇમામ્સને કતલ કરો. How does this apply here?
Yeah, we are talking about the same thing. Again, different example, very harsh example. Shimmer, who killed Imam, right? And Imam is saying he was good. He was good. How can he be good versus us? How can he be good? We are Smileys. We are following the farmans of Imam. We go to Jamaat Khana. We obey Imam. But Imam is comparing us with Shimmer. Whenever we miss our ibadat time, whenever we are mindless, when we do not use our intellect and we get into whatever, traps, dramas, and it is drama, the world is whole drama. And we get involved in it emotionally and become down and, emotional and become, mindless. We are killing that light. We are killing that light. Somebody hurt us, did somebody something, and we become so emotional and we forget doing the zikr and we forget that they are hurting this physical body, which has no value, which has no meaning. It is the soul, and I'm above and beyond that hurt, and I need to remember my Imam. Not that it doesn't hurt us, but due to that hurt, I don't go into this sad feeling and leave the zikr and get drowned in this hurt and lose my consciousness, my ability to remain mindful. So yes, whenever we are mindless, whenever we are when we are mindless, we'll sleep more, we'll eat more, we'll not do zikr, we'll forget the zikr, we will say, oh, I am tired, we'll listen to shaitan, oh, your body is hurting, or you have to do a lot of work, it's okay to rest, and we'll not do ibadat. We'll remain awake late in the night, watching movie, or attending some other things, friends or families or parties, and we'll miss ibadat time. All these applies to us when Imam says that Shimmer was better than you, those who kill the Noor of Imam. So when we miss ibadat time, it is like killing the Noor of Imam. Very, very harsh farman. Do we commit that sin? That's why we really need to look into mirror and bring that ugliness out, and then take care of that ugliness with love and care. And that love and care is zikr, it's ibadat, shedding tears of, giryazari with saying tobo tobo, and nurture, take care of that sick soul, to nourish it so it can become stronger and powerful and not affected by any dramas around us, because there are very many traps shaitan continues to display to keep us involved in it. We need to get out of it. Thank you for sharing that powerful farman, Yasmin.
Friends, any other questions or comments?
I have one, if it is possible. Like the intoxication is not only of the drink that you have or the wrong path that you take. It can be intoxication of ego. It can be intoxication of your power, your like any other intoxication of strength, of anything.
Yes, you're absolutely
Right?
correct. You reminded me of a very beautiful point. So, this intoxication could be of money, if you are very rich. This intoxication could be of your fame, because you're very famous. People like you, people love you. This intoxication could be because of our ego. Uh, might is right. All these are different types of intoxication. You're absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. And these all intoxication, we will identify when we are seeking this knowledge from Ginan, Quran, Hadith, Farman, to be able to identify not others, but our own selves and our own ugliness by seeing in that mirror, identifying where we are sinning, which intoxication we are into, and get ourselves out of it. Enter into the world of humility, saying, I am nothing, I am no one, I am the dust under the feet of Jamaat, and then start the journey from that level. Then only we can elevate ourselves. So yes, you're absolutely correct. Thank you, Nilofar.
We have this Gnan where it says that kuch nahi ho so to sarve kuch tha so eva sarve kuch mara sahib ji ne bhave.
Subhanallah, subhanallah. If you are nothing, then you are everything. And these nothing actually are beloved to Imam. Subhanallah, subhanallah. Beautiful. Thank you.
Any other comments or questions, friends?
Thank you so much for the explanation.
Shukran. Thank you for sharing beautiful Ginan. Thank you, Nilofar.
We have a comment from Anila Sahibah. Alcohol intoxication affects the brain to make the decisions. It can be allegorically used that under its influence, the carnal soul is the same as the drugs and alcohol, as it makes us do all the bad deeds and suppresses our intellect. Yeah.
True, very true. So related with what Nilofar said as well. So it is not one type of intoxication, because each one of us, have different kind of weakness. And Shaitan assesses us, and then it puts us in that kind of trap where we are weak. So everyone's intoxication could be different, but we have to identify what kind of intoxication we are into, so we can bring ourselves out of it by using our intellect and the power of the name of Imam. Subhanallah. Thank you for sharing that comment.
Any other comments or questions before we close the session?
Let me take your permission then.
I suppose not. Yeah. Thank you, Niamat Sahibah, for a lovely session again.
Sure.
And we pray that Ali Allah help you to continue this lovely service.
Amin, amin. Thank you, friend.
Okay.
Yali Madad, Yali
Yep.
Madad.
Alali Madad.
Yali.
Yali Madad Appa, thank you so
Yali
much.
Madad. Thank you.
Yali
sir.
Madad.
Yali Madad Harim Bhai, Yali Madad.
Yali Madad.
Yali Madad. Yali Madad.
Yali Madad, thank you.
Shukran Mala, Yali Madad.